Hey guys, welcome back to the Giovanni Show. Today we have on Super Bowl champion, amazing hair and amazing mustache, Beau Allen, coming on today. What's up, man?
What's up? Thanks for having me on, dude. You're very complimentary. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I'm so excited to have you on. And man, I remember when me and you met in person at the draft, you came up to me, you were like, "Hey, I don't know if you know me, I'm Beau Allen." And I'm like, "You're a Super Bowl champion.
My
You're
guy.
Beau Allen." And
Yeah, well,
and
that was funny, man. I met you. We were at, I think it was the NFL Play 60 event for the draft last year in Detroit. And I was like, I got to go introduce myself to my guy, Gio. And look at us now, just two podcasters podding together. I love it.
yes, sir. And man, I just gotta say, before we kick off this interview, I've been trying to grow a mustache myself. So if you have any tips for me, I need them.
Hey, it's all about vi visualization. Every night, when you lie your head on your pillow, just imagine each individual mustache hair growing, and then it'll come right in. You'll wake up
The
one morning and it'll just pop right in. It'll be there.
the manifestation. I love it.
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
Man, so we were both in Green Bay, but
Yep.
you had the honor of announcing Makuba coming to the Eagles. But I did have to ask you, what was your favorite part about Green Bay? Because I've never been there. It was a great city.
Yeah. I mean, I love Lambeau itself, man. So I kind of I grew up in Minnesota, but I grew up in Wisconsin a little bit too. I have a cabin in northwestern Wisconsin, small town called Birchwood. Spent a ton of time up there when I was a young lad, and my mom's from Wisconsin. So I actually grew up a Packers fan. My first ever NFL game was at Lambeau Field. It must have been like 2000, man, like 2005 or 2006 or something like that. My dad got me tickets to Monday Night Football. It was the Vikings at the Packers at Lambeau Field, and I think I was in middle school, so it was one of my first memories of NFL football. So to kind of come back and go back to Lambeau after playing in the NFL, playing at that field, being retired, and to announce the draft pick, like it's kind of a full circle moment for me. I love that area. Green Bay is awesome. So I got to say Lambo, but also I don't know if you had the opportunity to eat some cheese curds. Those are a staple of every, Wisconsinite's diet. So I ate some cheese curds too, and that was definitely a highlight as well.
Yeah, once you pass into Wisconsin, like it's just like I see this huge cheese sign, and then
Yeah.
I see a cheese castle, and then it's like multiple, like just everything is cheese, and
Yeah.
it's you see people walking around with the cheese hats. It's like really
Oh
the
yeah.
staple, like the one thing in Wisconsin is like the
Yeah.
cheese.
Now we got to get cheese steaks out there too. You know what I mean,
Yeah,
Gio?
yeah. So obviously you announced Makuba coming to the Eagles.
Yep.
And Sidney Brown, I know that there's been some thoughts about him and how Makuba might be the guy instead of him. What is your opinion on that? Because I think the Eagles just drafted their guy.
Yeah, I mean, you never really know. As someone that played in the NFL, I'm never a fan of kind of handing a rookie a starting role or that kind of thing. Like in my mind, if you're a rookie, you get drafted into a Super Bowl champion organization. Like you still have to earn you have to earn any kind of playing time that you're going to get. So I know a lot of Eagles fans are probably thinking along the same lines as you, where they think he's going to be the guy, and I hope he is. But also, like, you got a dog in Sidney Brown, who's a competitor, who's a vet, who's been there for a while, and he's not going to concede any sort of playing time. So I think it'll be a fun battle to follow. One thing about Vic's defense that I love is, he's always willing to move players around, put them in different kind of positions. So a lot of creativity there defensively, and never really know how a young guy is gonna kind of fit into a defensive scheme until, a little further along in his career, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at how Vic Fangio really developed the Cooper DeJean and the
Exactly.
Quinyon Mitchell and all those young guys last year. I'm excited to see what he does with Makuba. I think he's coming to the right organization for sure.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles really loaded up defensively too, which is exciting for me as a defensive player. And yeah, I mean I think they got a lot of young studs on defense, man. So this is Makuba is another young guy to get excited about defensively for sure.
For sure. When you look back at that 2017, 2018 season, one of the best times of my life.
Me too, brother.
What was the turning point for that team where you kind of knew that that team was special?
Oh man, it's hard to say because I don't know if there was ever really There was one point actually where it was a funny clip, and I watch it now years later, and it always makes me smile. But my buddy Chris Long, Podcast, got to plug that in here. But he was mic'd up one day, and we always did some fun stuff where we'd mess with each other, mess with your teammates when they're mic'd up. And so there's a clip. I think we were playing Denver. Man, it must have been like week 8 or 9. I gotta look, but Chris was mic'd up, and we were like beating the brakes off them, and I remember like looking over at Chris and be like, man, we might be pretty good. Like, I think we're pretty good. Are we good? And Chris was like, yeah, I think we're pretty good. So that's kind of a memory that always sticks out for me. But it's weird because when you're in season, like, it doesn't really matter how successful you are, on paper, like how many wins you have. Like, you don't really think about it. You're always worried about the next game. You know what I mean? So it's even though you're in the season and you're winning a bunch of games. I think we might have been like 8-0 or 9-0 at that time. Like I got to look back, man. It was a long time ago. But even though we were really good and we were having a good year, you can't really appreciate it because you're always just focused on the next game or the next practice or the next individual matchup or the next meeting, So you don't really get to enjoy it until after. And obviously, hindsight's 2020 and we won the Super Bowl that year, so I think we were pretty good.
Oh yeah, for sure. With VG retiring this year, you have to have some funny VG stories because
Oh,
anything that comes out of that guy's
yeah.
mouth is hilarious.
You
So,
already know. He used to always say, "No, I got a million BG stories." One thing I'm upset about for the draft though is, uh, so I had two picks on day two. Obviously, 64 where we got Makuba. We talked about that a little bit, but then the last pick, I think it was the 96 pick that I had. I was stoked because I got a Brandon Graham jersey. I was going to wear it under this green suit I had. I was really excited about it. I was going to give my boy some love. And of course, Howie traded out of that pick. So I didn't get to wear the BG jersey on the stage for the draft. But no, I got a million BG stories. I got so much respect for him as a player. I think the biggest thing that kind of sticks out to me about BG, and this is before he'd become the Philly legend that he is now. Is when I was a rookie, he was drafted by Chip Kelly. That was 2014 season, and we had a little bit of a coaching change with Chip coming in, and BG was a high draft pick, and he didn't really have a clearly defined role on the defense. Like he wasn't the guy that he was a little bit later in his career, and that's a frustrating position to be in. I think expectations are always high for high draft picks, especially in Philly. Like we all know that. And so BG was kind of at a frustrating point in his career. I'll never forget just talking to him and him, telling me a little bit about it and just saying like I'm gonna work my way into whatever I need. I remember BG running down on kickoffs, just murdering people. That's like one of my preeminent BG memories. Is that year BG was on kickoff and he was a bowling ball and he was murdering dudes. And this was a high draft pick. He'd been on the team for a couple of years and stuff like that, but he wasn't producing the same way. And so he was just willing to do whatever he could to have a role in the team. And that's what his role was. And then obviously, his role expanded and he became not that he wasn't a stud, but he really became a leader on the defense and, in the city and everything like that. But just the way he worked and kind of fighting through some of that adversity at the beginning of his career, I really respect. And then just him running down on kickoffs, like talking shit before. Like imagine BG on kickoff. This is the old kickoff rules, and he's like pointing dudes out. He's like, "You, I'm coming for you." And I'm sitting on the sideline just being like, "This is amazing." That's one of my favorite BG memories of all time.
that's insane. I cannot imagine seeing that.
I mean,
That
he was big too. Like, I mean, he's not the tallest defensive lineman, but like he's strong, man. And he would just get a full head of steam and go right through guys on kickoff. It was fun to watch.
from running guys over in kickoff to
Yes,
strip sacking Brady in the Super Bowl, it doesn't get
exactly.
much better.
It doesn't get much better. And then obviously the Super Bowl win, you got two of them things. So
Oh yeah.
gotta love it for him.
So we talked about the Green Light Pod before in this episode, which
Hmm.
huge shout out to Cowboy Reed for organizing this, and huge
Yep.
shout out to Chris. But what has it meant to you to go from playing on the field with your friends to potting with your friends each and every week?
Yeah, I mean it's a cool experience, man. I never thought I'd be a member of the media. But listen, if you ask any retired football player what they miss most about the game, 9 out of 10 times they'll say, the guys in the locker room, spending time with your boys every day. And so that's really what Chris and I do. I love Chris, great friend of mine. I was only teammates with him for 1 year, which is crazy to think. It was a pretty good year though. But it's cool. It's just it's fun to be involved with football in a capacity that's kind of at my own discretion, if that makes sense. Like I'm not out there taking on double teams anymore,
Yeah.
but I still get the opportunity to talk about the game with guys I played with, guys I played against, and it's really fun. Like for example, at the draft, a bunch of the NFL legends that came back were former Wisconsin guys. I mean, we were in Green Bay, so I got to chop it up with Melvin Gordon, Monty Ball, James White, Jonathan Taylor, four of the best running backs in the history of college football. And I just got to sit down with them for an hour and, we did a pod and talked Wisconsin football and NFL football, and it's fun, man. So that's what it's all about. It's, playing is one thing, and when you retire, obviously you can't play anymore. So it's still fun to be involved in football, chop it up with my buddies, and obviously do interviews with elite podcast hosts like you, brother.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you coming on and giving me some of your time today.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. How you
for
feeling about the
sure.
upcoming season, man? Was there a draft pick that you're most excited about, or what do you think?
Man, I'm excited. And I knew once I saw your hair and your suit and the glory that came with it, I knew there was a good pick coming.
Yeah,
So that Makuba pick, oh my gosh,
yeah.
you should. My house was electric
It was
when.
funny, man. I'm sure you know Connor Barwin. I played with him in Philly, works in the front office now, and I was nervous for the pick. So I was texting Connor. I was like, on the day of, I was like, hey, man, like, there's some pretty crazy names on this board here. Like, how do we feel about this edge rusher? And I just would send him a name, and he'd be like, yeah, that's going to be the one. He was like messing with me, telling me it's going to be all these crazy names. And then, I'm up in the green room with the commissioner and his staff and everything like that right before the pick. And I get a text from Connor Barr and he's like, all right, I think it's a pretty easy one. Like, you're going to like this. And I'm like, all right, my guy, CB, we're good. So I rolled out there and it was or it was Makuba, and we're good to go. It was fun,
And
man.
so I gotta ask, I mean, if there is a crazy name, do they like when they give you the slip, they're like Makuba, Makuba,
Yeah, they'll spell it
Makuba.
out phonetically for you. Actually, here, sit tight for one sec. Let me grab I have the actual slip. Let me
Oh,
give that to you. Yeah, one sec.
perfect. Doesn't get better than this.
So I don't know if this is going to come through on the camera very well or not, but I thought it was pretty cool and I wanted to hang on to it. But this is exactly what they give you. I don't know if it's blurry.
It's good now. Oh,
Uh,
there we go.
but yeah, they'll spell it out for you phonetically. And then
Mukuba.
the whole, yeah, exactly. The whole staff is there. I thought it was interesting. They had it under DB, not cornerback, not safety. Obviously a very versatile player, but yeah, with the 64th pick in the 2025 NFL draft, one thing that I do want to point out is you see how it says the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah.
Caught a little all audible there, and I had to throw in the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. I threw it in there twice because two-time champs, Gio? Like gotta give the bird some love there.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug, exactly.
You're like, I helped with one. It's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you
But
so much for coming on today,
of
man.
course, man, this is a blast. Hopefully, I spent a lot of time in Philly, so hopefully we'll run into each other soon.
Yes, sir. I'm going to Temple in the fall, so I'm sure I'll
Cool.
see you.
Awesome, man. Well, take care, man. Always a pleasure to see you.
Yes, sir. Go birds.
Go birds.